Drifting automobiles evoke memories of adventure, high speed, and plenty of testosterone. You know what we're talking about. The smell of scorched tires, the rear of a car disappearing into the smoke, and the sound of a scarred lane. We've compiled a list of 7 of the very best, most sought-after drift vehicles from Japan. The Nissan 350Z is the best pick for a drifter on our list. It's a little strange that the best drifting car isn't manufactured by a European automaker, but the Japanese have recently made a name for themselves by producing insanely fast vehicles. We'll have a look at the 7 of the very best drifting cars from Japan, and before we continue, make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Let us know in the comments below what you think about these drift cars. 7. Toyota Supra. The first generation Supra debuted in 1978 as an offshoot of Toyota's Celica line, but it wasn't until 1993 that the 4th generation A80 version emerged, discarding the boxy and angular bodywork for a smoother, more modern, rounded look that has since gained cult status. The engine was a 3.0-litre inline-6 rated at up to 320 HP, at least in turbocharged form, and was jokingly referred to as Japan's take on the Chevy Big Block. That said, it's not rare to come across Supras that have been tweaked to produce 1,000 horsepower or more. The 4th generation Supra, like the AE86 before it, has grown in popularity as a collector's supercar, commanding a high price on the used market. 6. Lexus IS300. The Lexus IS300, also known as the Altezza in Japan, was a groundbreaking model when it was released around the turn of the millennium, combining the performance of traditional Japanese tuner cars with the comfort and luxury of high-end German vehicles to produce one of the decade's most desirable cars. The IS300, a big brother of the IS200, was designed for the Western market under the watchful eye of Nobuaki Katayama, who was also responsible for the technological development of other iconic drift platforms like the AE86. While the IS300 is nearly 3,300 pounds at the curb, the car's 3.0-litre straight-six engine with 215 horsepower and 218 foot-pounds of torque was more than enough to break traction at the rear wheels. Despite the car's high price tag, second-hand samples may be acquired for as little as $5,000 or $6,000. 5. Lexus SC400. The Lexus SC400 is yet another powerful Japanese coupe that checks off nearly every box a drift car enthusiast would want. It's a rear-wheel drive vehicle with a big front-mounted 4.3-litre V8 that puts out nearly 300 horsepower, despite being a little on the heavier side. All of this adds up to a car that can be found on the used market for as low as a couple of grand and has a significant proclivity towards stepping out the back end. Even spotless examples are available for less than $5,000. The SC's powerful engine is supported by a sophisticated chassis and suspension system, which features a low ride height and tight springs that are ideal for track use. The interior of the SC, like that of the IS300, is noticeably more comfortable and sophisticated than the vast majority of other cars on this video, making it a far more practical option for individuals who expect to use it on a daily basis. 4. Nissan Skyline. The Nissan Skyline is a high-performance sports coupe with a pedigree as long as and as spectacular as the Nissan Z cars. It's a classic Japanese sports coupe with the heritage that stretches back to the Datsun Z vehicles and continues today with the Japanese Mark's GTR supercar. While any model of the Skyline is impossible to go wrong with, the mid to late 90s vintage R33 GTST certainly stands out, with a 2.5-litre inline-6 paired with a turbocharger and 5-speed manual transmission that was good for approximately 280 horsepower out of the box, but could be tuned to squeeze out far more. The Skyline's cult reputation, combined with the fact that it isn't always well received by legislators in many Western countries, has resulted in sky-high used car prices. The Skyline still performs admirably by today's standards, especially when competing on a drift course some decades after its release. 3. Mazda RX-7. The Mazda RX-7 is another superb alternative from the Japanese manufacturer. The Mazda RX-7 is one of the costliest drifting cars in our video, which is expected given Mazda Automobile's reputation for making high-end vehicles. The FD3S, the 3rd generation of Mazda's RX-7 series, is an excellent choice for a new drifter. The FD3S is an excellent pick because of its stunning appearance, excellent aftermarket support, powerful engine, and beautifully adjusted chassis. The RX-7 had a long and successful career, with several upgrades and enhancements as the vehicle was changed for each iteration. Series 6 cars 1992–95 acquired more power, improved engineering, and new looks. Series 7 cars 1996–98 gained more power, improved engineering, and new looks. The final Series 8 cars 1998–2002 are the most coveted, with a deluge of power, interior, and external improvements. The Spirit R, the ultimate RX-7, was the result of this. While the original RX-7 was naturally aspirated, the following models of the rotary engines had twin sequential turbochargers that could spool up to working speeds with exceptional efficiency thanks to the mill size. The Wankel lumps also provided the RX-7 with a broad power band that was full of tractable oomph all the way to the rev ceiling. Although the final 8th generation of this model acquired the most modern amenities and mechanics, used specimens now cost quite a bit of money, making the earlier generations the apparent pick for anyone on a budget. The RX-7's popularity among professional drivers should speak eloquently about its entire performance capabilities, including drifting. 2. Mazda MX-5 Miata. The Mazda Miata has been one of the most popular tuner vehicles since its introduction in 1989. The MX-5 Europe/EDM is a classic Japanese version of the renowned drop-top sports vehicle concept, also known as the Miata US/USDM and Unus Japan/JDM. The first model was introduced in 1989 and quickly became one of the most popular sports cars of all time. The NB designation alludes to the model's second generation, which includes numerous upgrades over the original, notably a significant increase in power output. The 1.8-litre variant is recommended since the 4-cylinder engine produces 138 horsepower, which is sufficient for any drifter just getting started. The car's mechanicals are stable and dependable throughout, and it's naturally aspirated. This means that increasing power output will be difficult without investing in forced induction and the supporting changes required to run it. It should be a suitable platform to adopt because of the strong aftermarket support and active enthusiast networks. The prices are really reasonable. The Miata are simple to work on, have good handling, and weigh almost nothing, weighing only roughly 1 ton. The Miata's slimline form and rear-wheel drive system allow even relatively weak powertrains, such as the 138 HP 1.8-litre 4-cylinder configuration found in the MX-5, to propel the Miata through curves, with the rear wheel spinning. The inclusion of a forced induction system can help the car's lightweight advantage even more. The fact that it's so cheap, with used examples selling for as low as a couple of grand, is perhaps its greatest strength. The Miata's wheelbase is on the small side of what you'd want in a perfect drift car, but not to the point where it compromises the model's ability to slide. 1. Nissan 350Z. The Nissan 350Z was released in 2003 and got excellent reviews. It was then the latest in the Z car lineage and carried many of the characteristics that made the cars before it a big hit with sports car lovers at the time. Nissan created the 350Z with the traditional sports car drivetrain setup of front engine and rear-wheel drive. The cars came standard with a bulletproof 3.5-litre V6 engine, producing 287 HP at the flywheel and transmitting power to the road via a 6-speed manual transmission and a controlled slip differential. These mechanical characteristics make the Nissan 350Z an ideal beginner drift car. A powerful and tough power plant mated to a manual gearbox and a limited slip differential ensures that as you learn the ropes and improve your drifting abilities, this car will see you through until you feel ready to significantly increase the power level of your car. If you fall in love with this platform, the V6 engine has forced induction alternatives depending on your budget. Therefore, the Nissan 350Z may be your ideal mate. So, there you have it, great people. Those were the 7 of the very best drifting cars from Japan. Which one of these do you think is the best of the best? Leave your comments down below about what you think about the best drifting cars, and we can talk about it in our next video.